Hi everybody, how you doing? All okay? Lovely. Okay, can everybody hear me? So I hope you all enjoyed your muffins last week. Okay, we're going to do a bit of savoury this week. So we're going to do chicken fajitas or vegetable fajitas, whichever you like. All right. Okay, so while we see if anybody else comes on, we'll start at 1:05. Okay. So you're going to need a frying pan or a wok, something like that, okay? Something that you can fry in or shallow fry in. Okay, got some oil. Okay, as far as your equipment, tablespoon, teaspoon. Okay, garlic crusher if you want. Okay, you can use that sort of garlic crusher or that sort of garlic crusher, just a small knife. Okay, and your general all-purpose knife. Okay, so fajitas. When I first put this up, I spelt it wrong. So there you go. I now know it has a J in. So we are going to do fajitas. We've got some wraps. Okay, you can have any different types of wraps. Okay, you can have chapatis. I've got some tomato and herb ones. Anything you like. Also, these are quite pliable. Okay, if they are a little bit stale, or some of them, the wholemeal ones, probably can't hear me if I'm doing that. The wholemeal ones are probably a bit more stiffer. So sometimes pop them in your microwave for about 30 seconds and that will just soften them up. All right? Okay. So are we all ready? Give me a thumbs up. And then we will make it. We'll make a good start. All right. So I've got everything ready. I've only got, for those of you that I teach, I've only got one tray at home. See, so I don't really have all of these trays like I do at college. And for those of you that aren't with me at college, what we do is we put all of our ingredients on a tray when we've read our recipe. So we've got most of the ingredients there. So I've got all my vegetables on there and I've got our chicken kept separately. I will be using a separate board. Mr. Bell, I haven't got 1,001 subscriptions yet. I'm only on 100, 101. So I only need how many more, Mr. Bell? Okay. So I think we're all ready, aren't we? I'll quickly go through what we need. All right, what ingredients? Okay, so 1 red onion. Can be a white onion if you want. It's not a problem. Okay, all of these recipes, you know, you can adapt to yourself. If you don't want chicken in, if you don't want peppers in, you know, put something else in, put some mushrooms in if you like. It really doesn't matter. So I've got 2 peppers, a red and a yellow, because they're quite nice and colourful. Then I've got my 2 cloves of garlic. All right, 1 lime and 4 chicken thighs. Okay, we'll talk about the chicken thighs in a minute. We're going to start by doing the vegetables. Okay, so I'll take these off of this board. And then first of all, we're going to talk about the lime. Okay, so we're only going to need the juice of this. Now, a couple of different ways. So I'm going to do I've got a little juicer. So what you can do is you cut it in half, okay? So that's the top, that's the bottom, all right? So cut it across there, okay, just like that. So if you have one of these juicers, then you squeeze down and you give it a good twist, okay? So we twist in and press it, all right? Because limes are quite expensive these days, so you need to get all of that juice out. And the reason for the lime juice in there is so it just adds a bit of sharpness. And that also helps with your digestion. It's one of the reasons when you have fish and chips, you have lemon with it. And so what that does is that gets this, they say that all the fat coming down needs to be all digested really nicely. So if you have the lemon first, then that tells your body to get ready. Okay, so you see, I've got nothing left in there. All right, so that's number one way. Okay, if you don't have the luxury of having a lime, then get yourself a fork, stick the fork in it. Okay. So just like that. Okay, then put your hand palm over the lime and then basically squeeze and try and twist that fork all the way around, okay? And that will get all your juice out. Okay. There we go. So that's all done now. That's going in your washing up bowl. I hope you filled your washing up bowl up. Hot soap and water. Okay. That goes in the bin. Don't need the fork anymore. Okay. So your lime juice now, you can just put to the side. So then next, we are going to do the peppers. Everybody okay? Give me a thumbs up if you're all okay. So, peppers, red and yellow. So, a couple of different ways again, and we're just going to slice these. So, we're going to treat this like a square. I'm going to move this a bit closer. Hopefully, you can see that a bit more clearer. Right. So, then we go down once, all right? Then down the other side, and this is great, a great way if you want to slice them this way, and then once more. Okay, take the bottom off. Okay, and so you see you've taken everything off of there. Okay, and that goes straight in the bin. So that's number one way. Okay, or what you can do, obviously we use our bridge, put the knife through, straight through. So then we've got the two halves. Now what you have to be careful with this is you don't get the seeds all over the place. So pop them over here onto your tray, and then we're pulling that out. Okay, and then pull all the white bits out. This way is a little bit more messy. So I prefer the first way. Okay, give it all a tap off. And that's there. So then what we're going to do is, let's see, you can, so 3 fingers. Yeah, that should be forward. So you can see there, we're going to do it that way. And then your knife goes down your little finger. Okay, it doesn't go down the finger, it goes down the fingernail. And then forward and back, forward and back, and then just gradually pulling those fingers back. So your other 2 fingers are here, making sure that they're holding it. Okay, so slice, back, slice, Okay, don't lift the knife up too big, and you don't want it going chopping away like that because you're putting too much force. All right, the knives are sharp for a reason. Just pull it back, and that's using the whole blade. Okay. All right, so we're slicing that. Okay, let's do that again. Okay. And just every time you do this, just keep practicing. See how thin you can get it. It's like everything in life. Just needs to be practiced. Okay. And then once you've got used to that knife, you can use the big knife if you like. But you're at home now, so it doesn't matter too much. Use whatever knife you like. Okay. With knives, just make sure they're sharp. Okay. So that's our red pepper. Okay, that's all done. So then, now you've got halves on the yellow pepper. Okay, so cut it in half again. And then it's always best if you cut through from the inside because it hasn't got a hard skin. And again, hold it and then just slice down. Now, as you can see, if you use the other method, you've got a nice flat surface to chop down, where this is a bit rocky in and out. Do you want to come and say hello? No? Okay. All right. So then the next one, I'm just going to take out a little bit of the white there. Okay. Again, if you use that method, you don't get out. But taking the cores out this way, the second way, if you want to do stuffed peppers or things like that, then that's really good. They're quite good on the barbecue. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with this. If you carry on, I'm not going to talk for a minute. I'm just going to let you carry on, and I'll have a little tidy. And then give me a thumbs up when you've sliced all of your peppers. There's no rush. Right, I'm just going to quickly wash my hands. So 20 seconds. I want to be COVID safe. What song do you sing when you're doing your hands? Okay, are we all done on our peppers? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Thank you, Freya. Thank you, Emma. Oh, don't worry about that. That's a good point. Maybe in the emojis somewhere, but you know, there's so many these days, aren't there? Okay, so we're going to move on now. So our next one is the onion or the red onion. Now, those of you that are in my classes, we've done onions, I think, many, many times. So there is a video on how to cut an onion, okay, in Kitchen Basics. So if I go too fast or you forget about it, then next time you do it, pop on there and you'll be able to see. If I get really good at this YouTube malarkey, I may even be able to put a card in or something to show you. But, you know, we'll get there. So our onion. So we have two parts of the onion, the root and the stalk. Okay? So the little hairy bit at the bottom, all right? We want to leave a little bit on there. Oh, hello, Els. Okay, so we are going to take a little bit of the stalk off. So holding it, cut through. Okay, pull that away. Any other bits? Okay, then the idea is always with veg chopping or any sort of chopping is to get a nice flat surface. And once you've got a flat surface, nothing moves, hopefully, and you've got less chance of cutting yourself. So pull back a little bit. Okay, so I've got my bridge. I'm going to put my knife through and then pushing and pushing the knife down. So it's going forward and then going down. Okay, then we're going to peel it. So you can either peel this with a knife or just with your fingers. That's fine. Yes, my wife is crawling through as we speak. For what reason? We can see you.
Oh dear.
I don't know. I really don't know. You know.
Sorry.
So you can stand up. Okay.
Oh, I can see you.
Okay, so we've peeled that. Okay, just pull that off. So you've still got your root at the back. I'll tell you why we need that. Okay, we aren't going to need it today, but you will need it if you want to ever dice onion. So when you dice it, you go down once, twice, across, and then down. Okay, and the root will keep everything together so you get a nice dice. So next, we are going to just cut that off, just at a slant, all right? Then do the same this side. Okay, so the same on the other half. Okay, so if you look on the onion, it's got lines going down that way, and that's where the roots and the stalk were. So you're going to do exactly the same as the pepper, and we're just going to slice. So as thinly as possible. I always find if you do it as thinly as you can and safely, every time you do it a bit thinner. And you'll get better and better. Okay? Might not work the first time, don't worry. Okay? You can still fry it off, you can still eat it. All right? It's not a problem. Okay, so we're doing exactly the same. See, we're sliding the knife. We're not pushing the knife straight down. Sliding, we want to use all of that blade. Yes, I know, Mr. Bell, you can see my wife. I don't know what she was up to crawling around on the floor, but there you go. I think I should have to have stiff words with her later, interrupting my lesson. How dare she? Okay, so should have something like that. Okay, so we've got 2 types of peppers and the onion. Okay, so again, I'm just going to wipe down my board and that. I'll leave you for a couple of minutes while I'm doing that so you can finish off and give me a sign. Anything, doesn't have to be a thumbs up, any sort of emoji, just to say we're all done. We're with you, Mr. Lawson. We're with you, Wes. Yeah, I think detention, absolutely. Okay, so next, our garlic. So one of 2 ways. So you can use a garlic crusher. All right. Pop it in. Okay. And then just crush it all the way through. Now, I always find with these that you get quite a bit of waste. So I prefer not to use these, but then I like using my knives. So that's the crushed garlic. Okay, another way is take a large knife, or you can use an underneath of a pan. Put it on the edge. Okay, so you don't want the knife handle on the edge, otherwise it won't work. So press down and then just rock yourself against it and you'll feel it go. Okay, and then that will just peel off like that. Okay, and then you can just chop it down. Okay, any way you like. It doesn't have to be too fine for this. All right, if you've used the garlic crusher, you're already there, aren't you? Okay, right. So that's all the veg done. So we're going to pop that to the side. And then we're going to do our chicken next. So this is my meat board. Obviously, it's at college we have the proper coloured ones, but at home I don't have a set. Okay, so I've got my 4 chicken thighs. Okay, or you can use chicken breast. It's up to you. All right, 2 chicken breast, 4 chicken thighs. I like the flavour of these a lot better. You can use anything really. You can use cooked chicken. You can use any sorts of vegetables that you like. You know, you don't have to have meat in it, or if you've got some mince left, you know, say from a lasagna or a shepherd's pie, just spice that up. So all we're going to do with these, exactly the same action. We're just going to slice them, okay, all the way through. And I'm going to keep these separate. These don't have to be so fine. I'm going to keep these separate on a separate board, on a separate plate, okay, because it's raw meat. So we're just slicing them through. So pretty much the same action. So that's 2. Like I say, this will do between 2 and 3 people, or maybe 2 adults, 2 children. You know, depending what you're having it with. If you're having a load of salad, etc., which I love, and that's really nice. Or if you're just having it for lunch, maybe even breakfast. Breakfast burrito. Okay. So we'll slice through that. So again, give me a quick heads up. Mr. Bell, I'll tell you a little bit later. Oh yes, keep safe. Washing those hands. Right, so I'm just washing my hands again because I've handled raw meat or raw poultry. Right, okay. Take my knives away. And then we're going to get ready to cook. So just give me a sign to say that you're ready again. All right, so you want your vegetables, your garlic. Okay. Then our oil. It does say I put olive oil in the recipe. Doesn't matter. Any sort of oil will do. Okay, vegetable oil, rapeseed oil. Any oil for frying. Okay, so with our garlic, while we're waiting, okay, I'm going to put my ½ teaspoon of ground cumin. I love cumin. Cumin is my favourite spice. Every time I make curries, always have cumin in. Lovely with cauliflower, potatoes. So then the spices, we've got chili powder in the recipe, but what I thought we'd do was, obviously, you can get fajita spices. So feel free to use whatever spices you like. You know, you can use some smoked paprika, anything. Have a little play. There's garlic salt, onion salt, all that sort of thing, depending on how hot you want it or how cool you want it, or whether you like a smoky flavour to it. Really easy. Okay, so I think we're nearly all there. So while we're, what do you think my flamingos? So this is Daddy Flamingo, isn't it? So this is 1 cup. And we've got ½ a cup Mummy Flamingo. Baby Flamingo is 1/4 cup. Okay. So do you use cups at home? My daughter always uses cups as opposed to a set of scales. Off they go. Fly away. So let's get cooking, shall we? Right. So we'll turn this round. Okay. So let's quickly go through what we've got. We have olive oil or oil to fry. Okay, our sliced vegetables, 2 cloves of garlic, half a teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of spices. Okay, 4 chickens size sliced up. Okay, and our lime juice in there. So first of all, once you're ready, you will need a set of tongs or something to stir it. Okay. So turn your gas on, and then turn it on high, and then turn it down. Okay. So we're just going to turn that down. All right. And then on we go. And then we're going to measure. Got our tablespoon. Going to measure 2 tablespoons of oil in there. And we want this to get hot, but you don't want it to get too hot, okay? If it's smoking, then turn it down, okay? Smoke means that the oil is burning, okay? So if you start smoking, turn the gas off, okay? And then just stand back and leave whatever you're going to do. So I'm going to turn that back up a little bit again. Let's see if that, yeah, you can see a little bit better there. So, and you'll know, if you look at the oil now, it's quite thick. As it gets hot, it will get thinner. So you know, and it might just shimmer a little bit. So you can just see it as it heats up. And the first thing we're going to put in is our chicken. So I'm just going to give that another minute, all right? So if you feel that you need a cloth, have a cloth. So I've got my spoon. And whenever you put things into the pan, put away from them, okay? So hold it like that. Tip it up, push away. And then if it does splash, it's going to splash over there. Which, okay, you've got to clean it up afterwards, but it's better than burning your hands and having scars all over there. Okay, so in it goes. So just push it down. All right, don't shake the pan at this point because you don't want to lose. Every time you shake the pan, you lose the heat. And at this stage, once it's in, then you can turn it up again. So the whole idea with cooking is to control the heat. That is the main thing with cooking. As long as you control your heat, then everything will go fine. You won't burn anything. You won't make sure everything's cooked. So if you have, what's always good, I've got one of these. So we use these at college. Little temperature probe. And always cook everything over 75. Unless you want it rare, you're doing a steak. Something like that. But if you're unsure, stick your probe in there and check it's at least over 70. 75 is ideal. Okay, so what we want to do is start browning all that off. Okay, so break it all up so it's all in its nice slices that you've just done. Okay, so I'm going to turn mine up a bit to get that going. So while this is doing, just make sure you've got everything else. So this can be for your dinner tonight, or could be a late lunch. Just going to adjust that slightly. Okay, so you can see it's starting to go white, and we want all of it going white. Because if the peppers and the onions aren't cooked, Doesn't really matter too much. They're just going to be crunchy. You can eat them in your salad. But what we want to make sure is the chicken's cooked, okay? So if you're putting in something like quorn, or you're using maybe some tofu, you know, these sort of things are already basically pre-cooked. So you just need to warm them through. So it may be an idea, if you're using something like that, to put them in, just do them all together with the vegetables. And if you're putting in, maybe like for this cooked chicken, say you've had a Sunday roast or something, or you've got some chicken left from something else, then again, put the vegetables first and then put the chicken in afterwards, because all you want to do is heat it through. And this is very adaptable. You can have it either as a main meal, as a lunchtime snack, or for your lunch. Okay, so we're nearly there. So what's that? About 3-4 minutes we've been going. Okay, so next I'm going to put my spices in and my garlic. So in they go. Because dried spices actually need a little bit of cooking out. So, and they'll soak up all that fat. Okay, so you want, 2 tablespoons is quite a lot in here, but you need to cook everything. So the oil's the cooking medium. The oil's okay. So once we've done that, we're going to go in. I'll just show you that. Okay, spices are in. So then we're going to go in with our onions. Now at this point, if it is spitting too much and you get a bit scared, just turn it down a little bit. Not a problem. Okay, just turn it down. Or alternatively, you've got a saucepan lid that fits, and just pop that over, and that will stop it spitting for a little while. Okay? How are we all doing? We're all keeping up? Okay, so I'm just going to let that cook down for a minute. Have a little tidy up. Okay, so now the onions just want to be a little bit soft, so they will just fall. They will look different. Okay, so here we go. Just like that. Okay, now I've kept this on quite a high heat. It's almost like Mexican stir fry, this really. So then we've got our peppers. So they're going to go in. Now, if you like peppers, or you don't like them cooked, then you can always have the peppers at the side. They don't have to be cooked to that point. Okay. So at this stage, I'm going to put in a little bit of salt and pepper. Right? So, but be careful, if you put some of these fajita spices are quite salty, so be careful on your salt. Okay, a little bit of salt, a bit of black pepper. Okay, then on we go. Right, so that's nearly, so how long was that taken? So we're on 40 minutes now, okay, to cook this and prepare it. So you can cut the time down by this. If you use peppers that are already sliced, you know, or you use a bag, you know, that you get from the supermarket. You can get frozen peppers, you can get sliced peppers, sliced onions already done. So, but this will be ready and eaten probably in an hour. So, okay. So I'm going to put my lid on. It just helps it speed it up a little bit. Right. And then, while that's going on, get my get a couple of wraps out for a little demo. Don't worry, I'll put the camera back down. So I'm just getting those out. Okay. I've got here just a little cos lettuce. Okay, I'm just going to give that a quick wash. I've taken the core out of that. Okay, so we're nearly there because you don't want it cooked down too much. You want a nice crunchy pepper. Okay, so that's ready now. So we're all ready on that. So our next stage, apart from eating it, is to roll the wrap. So all I'm going to do now is turn the gas off. Okay, so you can see that. Right, and I'm just going to put this into a bowl so that you can see. You don't have to chuck it into a bowl at home. But so if you're all doing your own wraps, then put this on the table. Everybody grabs a wrap. So let's go back to the board, all right? So there we are. Back on the board. Okay, so our wrap, what we're going to do is, first of all, now that's come off the stove, we're just going to stir in that lime juice. Okay, so that gets stirred in nicely. Right, then for our wrap, I'll show you how to wrap a wrap. So you can decide, I've got a bit of firecracker sauce, which is like a smoky tomato sauce. So I'm just going to put that on. Ooh, probably a little bit more than I thought. So just going to spread that over. Okay, don't fill it too full. Right, then I like a little bit of lettuce in mine. So a bit there. Bit there. Okay. Then take a spoon of that. Okay, put it into there. Now don't put too much in. Alright, so it's sort of in the shape of a sausage. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fold that over. Like that. Fold that bit over there. And then pull it in. Right, so just pull it towards you and then fold the other bit in. Okay, and push down and make sure the fold's on the bottom. And then just leave that for 30 seconds and that will settle itself. Okay, so we'll go again. A little bit of the old firecracker sauce. Okay. Couple of lettuce leaves. Okay, you don't have to put the lettuce leaves in, or you can roll the stuff in the lettuce leaves if you're gluten free or something like that. Okay, so that goes on. So corners in slightly, press down, fold over from the bottom like an envelope, and then pull that in. Okay, and then roll it up. Okay, so then you can just cut that. There we go. There's your wrap. Now, better taste one, just to make sure it's all right, even though we don't usually eat in the kitchen, but there you go. Mmm. Lovely. So thank you very much. Next week, we're going to do spaghetti bolognese. Okay? And I'm going to do two. I'm going to do a full whack one with loads of veg, everything in, and I'm going to do an easy one. So I'm going to put two recipes up, and you can follow whichever one you like. We'll do them side by side, okay? Pasta will be spaghetti, but if you want to use any other pasta, feel free. Okay? So any questions? Leave us on here, or send me a message on Wascooks, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. Off we go. Have a great weekend. Bye. See you next week.